Hey, a little better.
Hey, not bad,
A
not
little
bad. You're
better.
getting better at it, Parker. Okay, okay.
A lot of
Slowly
dark.
but surely, we're getting there. All right, I
We
like
had a
it.
lot of dark screen there for a minute, but it's getting
Yeah,
better. That's right. It's getting better.
we need a background for you. We need to do something that behind you, so you're not just a blank wall and just the ceiling roofs.
I know
That's
this.
that's kind of better. But now we're not see. Oh, you can see the studio.
That might be a little cooler. Maybe I'll do some sort of setup.
All right, you
Get the
start looking
studio.
around. You start
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
around, and all right. So this is a very special blue review. We're doing just questions, but we're brought to you by something, and Parker's got that for us.
That's right. We are brought to you by LAX. We thank you as always. So the Blue Review presented by Los Angeles International Airport. Hire LAX creates life-changing career opportunities for us Los Angeles residents. And for more information, check them out on Hire LAX at Eventbrite. Greg, that's Hire LAX at Eventbrite.
Yes, and also I'm pretty sure I shouldn't really announce it just yet, but I think the blue review is good for 3 more years, and
I,
thanks to LAX for that.
that's right. I think it's safe to say it's safe to drop the news. I ran into our
Yeah,
boy while I was using the restroom, and I got the news.
3 more years of blue review, and it's ready to go. Thank you LAX for that, and that means you get to do the blue review for 3 more years, Parker.
That's right. I was listening in the other day to Mason Island, and they were saying for anybody listening, they're like, "Hey, if you get an internship or you're just starting off your job here, just hang around long enough,
That's
and there you go.
exactly right.
Something will happen." And look at that. I got the blue review with Greg Bergen and Clinton Yates.
Yeah, well, not Clinton Yates today because he's doing things that are more important. He's got
Oh
bigger
yeah.
names on the other line. He's got to do ESPN daily at the exact same time. You can't just say, "Hey, can I do it at 9 instead of 9:30 because I have something that I got to do?" Yeah, I'm going to kill Clinton Yates when he's not here because that's the way we do things,
Ooh,
right?
he might be popping in later, and I think we might have to have a little chat fight
Oh
in
no,
the.
I'll tell it to his face too.
Yeah. All right,
where
but hey,
are
like
where
you,
are the loyalties lying, Parker? Is
I
the
know.
loyalty on the Blue Review? Is it for the mothership of ESPN? I think it should be with us, but I don't pay his checks.
Hey,
I just signed them.
I hear that. I
Not
hear
really.
that. But you're right. The Dodgers are nearing the playoff push, so
Yes, sir.
I expect a little more Clinton Yates. TV's Clinton Yates.
Television's Clinton Yates is handsome non-man society. I don't know. He's got a whole thing.
All of the above.
Oh,
Jeez. Well,
so
hey, go ahead, Greg. After
no, I
you.
was gonna
After you.
say it's a weird week, and we got a day off in the last week of the regular season. Next
Yeah,
week, next Saturday, not this one, next Saturday, the first game of the
October
is the
7th.
NLDS. It's time.
That's right. That's right. No, I'm wondering if you can shine a little light on why they have this doubleheader today. So they're facing the Colorado Rockies at 12, and then later on tonight. What was the reasoning and the scheduling behind a doubleheader this late in the season?
I should know the answer to that. I haven't looked it up yet, but I think something happened earlier in the season, like a rainout or something happened in
Hmm.
Colorado, and they just had to do it, move to a later date, and that later date is today. But
Yeah,
most likely, I mean, it was happening before too. They did a lot of that stuff last year. Remember last year they had like 6 games at the end of the year
that's right.
against
That's right.
Colorado or Arizona or somebody, but it was like a scheduling quirk. But I think this one is just a makeup game.
Yeah, the
A double
Rockies.
header. God, jeez. I haven't even looked. Who's pitching tonight?
I'm gonna have to look as well because the thing is, I was like, I saw Colorado, and I
Yeah.
figured,
So
well,
it's Caleb Ferguson is, I guess, starting. Who he'll probably just go in innings, so he's just an opener. And Bobby Miller has the late game, so we get to see Bobby Miller. I'm actually interested to see what Bobby Miller does tonight because,
in
like we've
it's
talked
in
about,
Colorado too, right? It's
yes,
in
it's in.
Coors Field, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
at Coors, which is really the easiest play for any pitcher. That's what they always want to play at Coors Field because
yep,
nothing bad ever happens at Coors Field.
exactly right.
But I'm interested to see what happens with Bobby Miller because, like we talked about before, he hasn't been great over the last couple of outings. And I think this outing is one of those ones that this is probably his last. Maybe he gets one more, but it's going to be interesting to see because if he's if he's giving up hard contact again, if he's walking guys, if he's giving
Mm-hmm.
up runs, and especially at Coors Field, it's like we said, it's difficult. Um, that might change my mind on who is the number one starter when it comes to October 7th and who they play. Because
Wow,
we had Bobby Miller at the one, but he has not been pitching well. I was
you
like
did.
yeah, I
Now let's
did.
say,
Who did you have?
see, that's right. So I was lying with Kirsch, and I remember we had this whole. I went on Travis and Sliwa, and then I was like, "Hey, I'm taking over Blue Review." But
That was funny. It was
to
good.
that point, yeah, I even when he was dealing with a shoulder injury, I felt that even if it was the worst case scenario, this is his last ride. I thought they were just going to throw him out game one, no matter what, and I still kind of stand on that hill. But you're right. Bobby Miller was projected by everyone, and as he should have been, unless you're like a Kershaw,
Apologist.
apologist like myself. It has shifted. He has been hit way too well the last three games, and like you said, hit pretty hard. So tonight's going to be a good test in the Gregtown, Colorado.
The Greg Town. Why is the? I mean, I went there for a year,
Yeah,
but either way, so, yes, it's Clayton Kershaw. I think is still there's still some issues with Kersh.
Mhm.
He's still walking a lot of guys. He's still not throwing with velocity. And when you're hitting under 90 and you don't have any velocity,
Yeah.
you have to paint the corners, right? You should look for your spot. He is a pitcher. He's not a thrower, he's a pitcher. He's going to his spots, and that's just the way he has to be down at the end of his career. But because he's doing that, now he has to be pinpoint accurate at all times and really beginning his and with that comes a lot of walks. And when you walk like that in the playoffs, it's going to come back to burn you because you're going to walk a couple of guys and then someone's just going to hit a jack and it's going to change the entire game. So
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm still a little bit wary on Kershaw. He's going to have one more start. That's in one more start, I would assume. But then that means he has a lot of rest coming up. So hopefully it's better. I just need Bobby Miller to have a good outing tonight. I do.
Yeah, 100%. And for anybody tuned in, I know a few of you are watching. Go ahead, ask some questions because the Dodgers had an off night last night. So we will be happy to answer any of those. I mean, if you're stuck in traffic, I apologize. I was dealing with that earlier too. So that I understand. But if you're not, ask some questions to Greg and I, and maybe Clinton. He might hop in the last minute or so.
Yeah, let's see what Clinton does. He's gonna do whatever he does, but I doubt it. Let's just put it this way: if he comes on, it will be a pleasant surprise. I don't expect it.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question for you, Greg.
Yes,
On a
sir.
Dodgers off day, because you are the biggest follower of the Dodgers that I know. What are you doing? What's a typical Greg night like on an off day for the Dodgers?
It was Monday night football with two games. What do you
There
think
we
I was
go.
doing? I was
You're
on my
right.
couch, laid back. I actually went. I did it differently this time. I normally just like last week. There was two games also, and I
Hmm.
just went. I watched one game and I'd flip back and forth. I watched that dual cast. Did you see that? Have you
Okay.
seen that on ESPN? Have you seen that the dual cast?
I haven't had a chance to check that out. So because I do the streaming that I have is Hulu TV, and I was surprised that they had the games in general. So I
Oh,
was just
nice.
flipping back. I was flipping back and forth.
So they on ESPN app they have the dual cast. I don't know where the and so you have you have two screens up and you see it. It's just like anything else, and you just change back and move back and forth, and you get the volume from each one. So one goes to break and you turn it over to the other one. So it was really nice. I got to watch both of them and like at the same time. I actually really enjoyed it. Like I want to hear what they're saying about the Rams game.
Hmm.
I can listen to Dan Orlovsky, which was not the most fun. If I wanted to listen to Troy, to Joe and Troy, that was a little bit easier. So it was nice. It was nice. Oh, we got a question.
Oh, here we are. So Ernesto
Oh,
Torres up in the chat.
it's a question
Thanks
I
for
don't know the
joining.
answer to.
So, have the Dodgers done their annual dress up day? That's the question for us. So, as of yet, I haven't
I
seen
haven't.
anything on socials, and
Yeah.
I'm going to assume they haven't because
Well,
usually it's a very big it's very big on the Twitterverse and such, we see the Dodgers because they always pull out in the best fits.
So yeah, they do. They get good costumes, but I think because I mean we're almost at Halloween, so maybe it'll be in the playoffs, which is a weird time to do it, but
It's
it
true.
could be.
Yeah.
Keep them loose, keep them loose. I don't know what they're gonna do.
I
What would you dress
mean,
up? Would you dress up as Kershaw, where he's going?
yeah, no shirt, Kirsch with just the baseball pants.
And the
Such a
dad bod, yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's such a dad move. It's like
it's a
he
major
he
dad.
he knows he can flex a little bit, but at the same time, he's got the beer in the hand. I mean, it's perfect. I think I would go as, let's see. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and debate what Halloween costume I'd wear, but I would probably do something to like make fun of a teammate.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
not
would
bad.
go as like the Mariachi Joe or something that as like a nod to some of my
That's a good
favorite
one.
teammates. Yeah.
I think with that, I would do the Kike. Remember when he was here before? He wore the banana suit.
That's right.
So
Yep.
go Kike in the
Yep.
banana suit. I think that's a good one.
Here's
Uh,
oh, here's another good question,
yep.
Greg. If you want to read
What you
that
got?
one.
David Gomez. Would you rather Marlins or Brewers?
Well, what
That
do you
was
mean by
tough.
would you rather? I'm playing.
We're not playing that game, Parker. This is a family show. So which one would you want? Would you want the Marlins or the Brewers in the DS?
I think all year I've kind of stood on this one. I would rather the Brewers. I know they're kind of getting a little loose and they're feeling a little hot recently.
Mm-hmm.
They had that 16-0 route the other day or something where their big boy Rowdy Tellez came in and
Yeah,
got a strikeout.
it was strikeout. Yeah, it was a swinging strikeout too.
Yeah, that was crazy to see. So both teams are. I think the Marlins are kind of in a worse stretch right now, but I would prefer the Brewers in terms of matchups.
I
Um,
think
they're relying on Josh Donaldson, the bringer of rain, to be like this
the bringer
savior,
of rain.
this savior, and give him some postseason run, and he just hasn't been anything in the past few years. So I would want the Brewers.
So the only issue I have with the Brewers is they have a better pitching staff than the Marlins. The Marlins have besides Sandy Alcantara, who has not had that great of a year this year. This actually was
Yeah,
a
he
down
fell
year for
off
him.
after his yeah.
Yeah, he's fell off. So, but he can go long if he needs to. He goes 9. You can get him. He can actually they can get that out of him if he has a good outing, and he does typically pitch well against the Dodgers. That's one game though. The pitching staff for the Brewers in Woodruff and Wade Miley has been having a good year, but
Yeah.
it's Corbin Burns is an excellent pitcher. They have a bunch of Freddie Peralta is really good. So I think with their pitching staff, it's going to be a little bit tougher. It's nice, and also Devin Williams is an insanely good closer. So he has that airbender. So
Yep.
with
It's insane.
I would steer away from them because of that. Just
Yeah,
because I would prefer the easier of the paths, and I feel like the Marlins would be the easier of the path.
that's fair. Yeah, I only had they're a tough and I've said this a few times on the show. They're not a great changeup hitting team.
Mm.
And it works out for the Dodgers bullpen at the very least, where we got some heavy throwers at the beginning, other than Kershaw. And then you got the bullpen guys coming in with some good off speed. So I think it would, throughout a series, in a 5-game series, it would be in the Dodgers' favor. But the Marlins, yeah, I would agree. Their pitching staff's less, and the Dodgers are just beating up every single pitching staff. So I
Yeah,
like
right
that.
now they are. They're looking good, and actually, the Dodgers pitching staff, as much as we give it a lot of
Well, yeah, no, I mean, we didn't even mention this the other day that since the All-Star break, the bullpen is the best in the league.
yeah,
I think it's
the
a
bull. I have no issue.
2.22 ERA.
Yep, which is fantastic. And so the bullpen, as people just have this idea that it was so bad earlier in the year that it's still bad, and it's just not. Like you said, since the All Star break, they're one of the best. If the best is it the best in baseball right now. So
It was, or at least the NL, but I'm pretty sure it was best in baseball.
they have, and Joe Kelly coming back absolutely makes a huge difference. Then you have the veteran guys that go in there, and also you have enough dudes that can throw hard that you can
Sure.
move people to the back of the bullpen, like moving Michael Grove back there when he can be a long or short starter. Ryan Yarbrough has been fantastic in that role, pitching 2-3 innings down late.
Mm-hmm.
And Evan Phillips is always going to be Evan Phillips. I'm very happy with him. So really, it's really nice to see what's going on back there. So if you can get through the first couple innings with your starters, you feel pretty good right now.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
Braves
I
pitching
mean,
staff is actually going the other way.
Yeah, no, exactly. We talked about this the other day on the show, and
Yeah.
plus you had on your show Mason and Ireland, you had Dave Roberts on the other day, and he just kept emphasizing we trust these arms that we have,
Yep.
and I can see why. I can see why. So we
Yep.
have another question up here in the
Sure.
chat. Here's a good one from David Gomez. Another one. Of course, JD Martinez is keep if he can keep it up, that would be great for the rest of the postseason. But who else would you want to see step up in your opinion?
Well, I mean,
It's a good question. I mean, I think for me, I don't think it's a matter of
yep.
stepping up. I think it's just keeping this level of play. So guys like Jay Hay, who have
Yep.
who has just been insane in terms of like the reclamation project. They took him in, he was RFA'd, and now he's the starter and he's kicking butt. So it's just guys like that keeping it up, not necessarily stepping up.
Yeah, so I would say Chris Taylor because he has had postseason success. He had that big hit
Yeah,
in the bottom of the ninth, or yeah, in the bottom of the ninth the other day on was it Sunday? So if
Clutch Taylor.
Clutch Taylor, he has done those types of things in the postseason before. So I'd like to see that more so to continue to happen. But really, you want everyone to kind of step up.
Of
Really,
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it happens so often. You get into postseason, guys that were hot go down because they're going up against the best, your number 1 and 2 starter every single night.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie and Mookie need to stay hot. They need to stay at the same level that they are. They need to be that uh, the trendsetter, getting on base, moving guys around. They need to be doing that because if they go, we go. So I
Yep.
need to see those two be at the top of their game.
Yeah. I mean, and it's hilarious that we went straight to the bats because the rest of the season we would have said the starting pitcher needs to step up or the bullpen needs to step up. But as of recently, I mean, I trust them going into the playoffs right now. Of course, I think it's coming down to Kirsch. In the end, it'll
Sure.
come down to if he can really pull out a classic Kershaw performance and get through 4 or 5 innings without a run.
Absolutely. But I mean, I've always said it, when you get to the postseason, it's just different. Like remember,
Yeah.
Trey Turner was hot both years he was with the Dodgers. He was super hot, and he just fell off in the
Mm-hmm.
postseason because it's just different. It's a different mindset. Now, luckily, both Mookie and Freddie have been in the playoffs year after year after year, so they know what that pressure is like. You trust them, but it happens. You press a little bit much, and you just can't hit anymore. But that's the biggest thing for me, runners in scoring position for the Dodgers in the postseason. They typically do not do well with that, and that's why they've lost in the early rounds or in the World Series or the NLCS or whatever it happens to be. They cannot get guys over with runners in scoring position. If that's hitting, if that's doing well, I think they'll be successful. Without it, they won't.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, hey, today was a special day because we were just answering some questions. The Dodgers will play at noon today, so you can go ahead and
Yeah.
follow along, and we'll be back tomorrow at 9:30 to react. Of course, as always, I'm with Greg Bergman,
Yes, sir.
myself, Parker Bell, and we're here because of LAX. So Clinton's supposed to be here because of LAX too, but we know how
No,
that
no. Here
goes.
we're not doing his stupid
We're not
little.
doing his plane today. So thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. This has been the Blue Review.